Hi, everyone. Welcome to meal kit number 6 for Curated by Becta. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for ordering this week. Happy Canada Day week for all of you. It's a really exciting week. We've got a beautiful Canadian focused menu, beautiful Canadian wines, and we're really excited to share them with you. So tonight is going to be like the easiest demo that I've done so far. I'm going to go right to the main course because that's what I've got in the oven right now, and then we're going to come back to the appetizer. So for the main course, we've got a ginger and soy marinated Perth pork chop. It's a heritage breed of pork, a Tamworth pork, and it's done from this local company, Perth Pork, and they do such a great job. We've got some roasted pickled garlic scapes that came just this season, and some sesame roasted broccoli, sweet potato puree, and a citrus miso mayonnaise. So I'm learning as I go along about this, about how to cut out some time. So I put the broccoli and the pickled garlic scapes in the oven, just drizzled some olive oil and salt and pepper on it, and just right in there, and it's 375 degrees. And it's going to roast for about 20 minutes. Well, it's been roasting for about 15, so by the time I'm done showing you about the appetizer and telling you about the next round, it'll be ready to come out and ready to plate. So let's talk about the appetizer. So we've got this gorgeous terrine that Chef Rich and his awesome team have put together, and it's done with some pickled veg. It comes with a little pickling liquid, so I would suggest as you dump it on the plate, just get a paper towel to wipe off some of that. Important to season your terrine properly. If we season this beforehand, it's going to really mess with the terrine, so it's up to you to just finish it with a little sea salt at the end. And then, of course, I forgot the crostinis at work today. So I'm using some of these cranberry crostinis I had at home, but I promise yours are in your kit. Got some gorgeous Dijon mustard there. The terrine is mostly duck, but it's got a little bit of pork in it as well to just bind because, of course, pork has a little more fat to it, and it gives it that nice smoky quality as well. So that is your Mariposa duck terrine with pickled veg and Dijon mustard. Just slather it on the crostinis and eat and enjoy. My wife was smart enough to point out, I did this actually last night and the audio quality wasn't great, so I'm redoing it. So thanks, chefs, for putting together another package for me. And but last night did the pictures, and we did sort of a family style. So we did two terrines on one plate, but tonight I played them individually. And if you are like me and you like doing family style stuff, please go ahead and plate it individually. So let's go to the main course. It's super easy. Again, the broccoli's been roasting in the oven for about 15 minutes now, so it's going to be easy to go. Oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about the wine. So first course wine this week on a regular package, and then there's always the wine upgrade option, but I like to focus on these guys. This is a 2027 rosé, and it's from Niagara. We went all Canadian this week, and very small production, 355 cases made. It's a Gamay Noir rosé. So it's done in the Saignée style. So they basically ferment it as you would red wine, but then they bleed it off of the skins very quickly. So you just get a little bit of that gorgeous color. I'm a huge fan of this wine. It goes into a lot of our cases. Just really bright cranberry flavors, some beautiful herbs, a little bit of smoke, almost strawberry as well. And it's lovely. I'm a huge fan of these guys, and we love featuring their wines in the kit. All right, so next up, we're gonna do the pork chops. Now the pork chops have been done sous vide, so cooked under pressure at a long, slow temperature. So they are very tender. And we finish it on the grill a little bit to give it some grill marks and to give it a little bit of crispiness on the outside. But you guys are gonna finish it off in a frying pan or on a barbecue, whichever you prefer. But I prefer a frying pan for pork chops because it won't dry out. Barbecue could work well, but make sure to get some nice olive oil on it. Either way. Um, so tonight, for the first time during the meal kits, we have a guest. My partner, Clay Cardillo, of 8 years, and my partner during this crazy COVID time is coming over for dinner. So we have 3 pork chops that we're doing. So that's really exciting. And we're gonna, of course, be outside, socially distancing. But it's so nice to be able to have a little bit of company in a socially distanced way. This is new for all of us. We're all just figuring it all out. So Pork chops are sauteing up on the pan. We're going to go about 2.5 minutes per side. You just want to get a little bit of color on it. The pork chops have been cooked sort of medium rare, and so you're going to bring them up to medium. So there should be just a tiny little bit of pink left in them when you are done. If you want to cook it a little bit longer, that's no problem. You know, everyone has different textures and temperatures that they like for their dishes, and whatever you are most comfortable with. So while that is going on, we're going to take this citrus miso mayonnaise, and we're going to put sort of 3 dollops on the plate. And I love this stuff. So I actually, again, I test ran this kit last night, and it's beautiful stuff. And the mayonnaise, what I found was that it was a great sauce for the pork. So keeping that in mind. Don't necessarily put it right on top of the pork, but put it beside, and I just sort of dragged it through there, and it was amazingly delicious. All right, so we're going to flip the pork chops over now. And that's going to cook up very quickly and very nicely. And the sweet potato puree has been going on. So I just put it in a pot. You're just warming it up. And that's going to go on the base. And the beautiful orange color is going to be really brought out by the green of the broccoli and the garlic scapes. The thing I messed up about last night is that I forgot to toss the broccoli and garlic scapes in the sesame dressing. So don't forget to do that. So I've already put it in my bowl so that it is easy for me to remember. So always mise en place is very important. You know, the term everything in its place. So important to do that. So while the pork chops are finishing up, we're going to talk about the red here, which is a really interesting wine. So this is from Pearl Morissette, probably one of the most revered small production vineyards in Niagara. And they made this proprietary blend called Prime Sauté. And I think it meant it's like a vigorous dance. So it's about sort of letting your abandon go. And I think we need more of that in life, especially during COVID times. So important to check that out. Let's see how our sweet potato is coming along nicely. All right, so we're going to grab the broccoli and garlic scapes out of the oven. We've got our bowl. It's been ready with the vinaigrette, so we don't forget. Just toss that around really nicely. And that's just going to sit for a second. We'll let the sesame vinaigrette sort of soak in. And then we're going to get the sweet potato puree down, turn the pork off. Okay. And we're going to do what I refer to as the chef's swoosh. It's kind of like a Nike swoosh. You basically take the back of your spoon and drag it through the sauce or the puree until you get a nice sort of Nike swoosh out of it. We'll see which one is the nicest, and that's the one I'm going to hold up on the camera. As we always try to do that. And while I'm doing this, I need to give out a shout out to our incredible staff that, by the way, you have done an amazing job at helping support so that we can bring them back. They've worked so hard. This week we moved over from Play to Becta, our curated program, and you know what? They've worked so hard to put these meals together for you. And yesterday was a particularly challenging day because we're cooking for our first day at Becta, and it turns out our gas regulator shut down, so we weren't able to cook with gas. Thankfully, we had a lot of other things like the immersion circulators to be able to do the sous vide. We had induction ranges to be able to saute things. We had an electric oven to be able to slow roast things, and it was terrific. But it was hard. These guys got out of there at about 9 o'clock last night, and you know what? It's tough. They're very hard-working folks. All right. So going by the instructions, and it actually worked out really well last night. Chef Rich recommends that we slice the pork in sort of inch wide slices, because that's the way we want to eat it. And don't forget to season the pork, because again, we don't want to season things ahead of time because the salt will dry it out and make it not so tasty. So sea salt, if you don't have any at home, please invest in some. It's pretty inexpensive, but the extra texture that you get from it is beautiful. At the restaurant, we use a fleur de sel. Oh, that's looking gorgeous. Just that little bit of pink inside. And again, if you want to cook it a little longer, you can do that. But especially for these heritage breeds of pork that are raised very well and in beautiful, safe conditions, then you want to be able to do that. Okay, next up we've got our broccoli and pickled garlic scapes. Finishing off. And the sesame vinaigrette sort of has this amazing sauciness that is going over, and it sort of mixes with the sweet potato puree really well. Looks a little messy, but very decadent. Always have some paper towels around to clean up the plates in case it gets messy. That's a trick that the chefs have taught me. So a little fleur de sel over top of that. And let's see which one is the prettiest. I'm gonna go with this one. So there is your beautiful heritage pork chop done with the pickled garlic scapes and broccoli, sweet potato puree, and the miso mayonnaise. Sorry about that, guys. We just lost you, but we're splicing this together. So I was saying Marianne, this wonderful cook from Gazzelli, came up with this dessert right when we opened, and it has been on the menu ever since. It's hard to say how much Butterfinger we have made over the years, but I tried this again for the first time in a while last night, and wow, it is just such an incredible dessert, and I can see why people rave about it. So we've got the gorgeous Butterfinger here, but we've got a pro tip for you if you're interested. If you happen to have a propane tank at home, but you know what? A barbecue lighter actually works relatively well, I think, or I've been told. So you know what? I'm gonna try the barbecue lighter. Basically, you just want to toast the marshmallow a little bit and give it a little bit of color. Just a little bit of brown, and it gives it a little bit of a crunchy texture to it. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad I did this. Jacques Pepin always cooked with ingredients he could only find at a grocery store, and I love that about him. So you just want to give it a little bit of toast, and then you can see the beautiful Butterfinger with the marshmallow fluff, the salted chocolate or the chocolate caramel sauce, and then the beautiful cherries. So there you have it. Anyway, thanks for all the amazing support. Thank you for joining us and having us curate for you in your home. And happy Canada Day to you all. We're very excited to be part of you.